Hi, my name is Tara.
I'm Dave.
And we're the Thirsty Thrifters.
Cheers.
That was a horrible job, Dave.
Thank you.
We normally do videos about thrifting and reselling online on a app or platform called Poshmark. If you are from England, you've probably never heard of it because they don't have it there.
I'll put the closet name just in case.
Yeah, if you want to look at the stuff we sell, you can visit that closet on Poshmark.
We also drink.
Oh, yeah. Talk.
We drink wine. Tonight, we're drinking Brown County Merlot. And we're a little bit more festive than usual because it's New Year's Eve. So we got the...
that was a gift from my mother to Dave, the big S.
It was in my
stopper.
stocking this year. So
we do drink wine in every video because we find that it's more fun that way, and that's why we're the Thirsty Thrifters.
boom.
Today we're doing a not thrifting video. We had a couple earlier videos in the summer about our trip to England, and one of them in the last month or so got a lot of views. Not our normal 250.
We're going to follow up a little bit.
How many do we have now? Like 35,000 or something?
It's at like 38,000.
We're not used to this, guys. We normally have 250 people watch us. So it wasn't a polished video. It wasn't edited. Nothing like that. This one won't be either. We don't want to do that.
We wing it.
We wing it, and we leave in all the pauses. We make it natural. But we're going to talk about all the food we ate, because replying to all those comments made me think about all our food that we had.
We learned that there's a big difference between pubs and restaurants. We ate at a lot of pubs, and we just figured they were restaurants because they seemed very restaurant-y to me. But I'm from America, and it's like we just call everything a restaurant.
We do. So, there is no such thing as a pub unless you
name it a pub. We weren't trying to offend
pub.
anybody and say you let dogs into the high-class restaurants. We didn't go to any of those places because we're not high-class people. We're pub people. So
we're going to go through everywhere we went, everything we ate, and tell you our opinions as Americans eating your British food. I did want to kind of preface this with how we eat, because we're not normal Americans, I would say. We don't eat a standard American diet, especially myself. I have eaten low carb, or what is now called keto, for about 12 years. So I don't eat bread, I don't eat pasta, I don't eat pizza, I don't eat sandwiches.
So therefore, I don't get a lot of that stuff either.
Dave eats what I cook.
So I eat a lot of that same stuff she does.
We eat a lot of meat and vegetables.
It works out.
And cheese.
I like that stuff too.
And wine. That's our staples. So we don't have the same kind of palate as Americans that eat a lot of processed food and eat fast food a lot of times. We also don't eat any sugar. So I don't know what kind of chocolate they like. Chocolate
Cadbury.
No, not brand, but chocolate levels they have. Like
our chocolate has so good.
Our chocolate has a percentage of, what is it, cocoa to sugar. I don't know how they do the percentage, but like dark chocolates are like 65% and above, and what I eat is 95%, and I can still taste the sweetness in it. So
I do 85.
85.
Yeah.
That's still kind of very dark for most people, and so our sweetness tolerance is pretty low. It's just why we drink all dry wine. We don't drink sweet wine ever.
This tastes sweet to me, and it says
it's
dry
not,
wine on
it's a dry.
On the back.
So we aren't actually going to talk about the wine we drank because I don't remember a single brand of wine. We just ordered what they had. But we'll talk about the food. And when I can remember, if we have pictures of it, we'll put it in. We're not food picture taking people. We just eat.
Weirds me
in
out.
general.
I mean,
we don't take pictures of all of our food.
Yeah.
We just enjoy life and eat it. But we did take a few because it was unusual or looked really delicious, or something we wanted to show our friends who have never been to England. So we have a few of our own pictures, and then we'll put in menus from their websites and such so you can see the
She
descriptions.
says we will.
I will help you.
Oh, okay.
I'll send you the pictures.
Okay.
Dave's the editor of the videos. So day one, we were on the plane the whole time. We're not going to talk about that food. We arrived and it was late night, so we didn't eat at night. So the first morning we were at my friend's house, and we are not breakfast people. We
Coffee.
only have coffee. So we had coffee for breakfast. That's going to be the standard every day. We have coffee. And that's it. The first day we were in London, and we were just walking around by the river, and we had not planned where we were going to eat ever. And we found a Nando's, which I had heard of, or Nando's, however you say it. I don't know. So I had heard about this place.
I'm not even going to attempt it. Someone will definitely correct us, but it was good.
We had heard of Nando's, or Nando's.
Yeah.
Nando's. And
Nando's.
I knew they had low-carb foods that I could order. So we went in, and I know that I got chicken wings and halloumi. I don't know if it was grilled or fried halloumi. Don't remember.
Halloumi was...
Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was like the fried cheese.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have found that you guys have a lot of halloumi available. I have
It's
never,
good.
ever seen it in an American restaurant, ever. And that's a shame.
No kidding.
It was delicious. And the wings were also excellent. I will say they're small. If you're an American going to England, they're small, probably because they're not raised with hormones and
they're
crap
real
in them.
chickens. They're not Arnold Schwarzenegger, pumped up
Steroidal.
steroidal, whatever. They're not like, they're just like normal chickens probably, which is cool. Tasted great.
Didn't you have something else? You had chips or fries or...
I don't think so.
You don't think you did that first day?
No, I think I got like, maybe, do they have vegetables? Like a side of
You can look
vegetables?
at the menu online and
I
see.
can't remember.
It
But-
has been 6 months.
Yeah,
But we
it's
do
been a while.
remember most everything. So that was, we should rate our meals 10 out of 10 points. Like what
I don't know.
what would you rate Nando's? Nando's is a quicker restaurant.
Yeah.
It's not a
It's like
fancy place if you're an American and don't
We
know.
had it a couple times actually. We had it in
We'll get there.
Slough.
We'll get there.
It's
It's
an
an
pretty
8,
much the same
9
thing.
out of 10 for me. Dave cannot stay on track.
Probably 7 or 8. Yeah,
So it was good. It was
was
very
good.
good.
great if you're it's kind of like fast food, but not right.
Right. Like similar.
It's hard to explain.
Like McAllister's, the quickness of a McAllister's, you order it and it's ready in
it's
5
ready
minutes.
really quickly.
They'll bring it to your table.
Yeah,
Like that. If you're an American and you want some comparisons.
I was hungry.
The second meal we had, that night we were going back to Windsor. And it was late and I texted my roommate. I said, what is there open in Windsor? And this was like it was a weeknight. It wasn't the weekend. She said, well, there'll be so much open. And there wasn't. We found one restaurant open. And it was called Lebanese Nights. And that's where we went. We had no other option. And
I'm glad we went there though.
oh, yes.
That was.
We had never had Lebanese food.
Yeah.
I don't think I could pinpoint a Lebanese restaurant in our entire state.
Yeah, I've never seen.
Never
one.
heard of one being anywhere.
I would give it a try if I saw one.
We ordered, I looked this up, and it was called the Knight's Skewer. I don't know where all my pictures have gone. There it is. They have a picture on their website too, but we took our own picture. Hanging signature skewer served mixed lamb and chicken cubes with salad, garlic sauce, chili sauce. You'll see this in the picture. There's no punctuation in that description.
It was good.
I think it was the first time we'd had lamb.
Yeah.
It's not very common here.
But now it's something we go and we get
do
every now
buy
and then
it.
because
It's good.
it's like I also keep a bottle of Nando's. It's a staple now. The hot sauce. It's like medium. No, I'm just saying we've brought a lot back with us. Like we get lamb now. We didn't used to do that. Yeah.
And we've
I'm just saying.
added them to
yeah,
our
we've
diet.
added them to our everyday lifestyle.
So on the Lebanese nights, it was like this hanging thing of meat and onions and tomatoes. They served it with a big pile of rice. I didn't eat any of that.
I partake.
It had, and I can't say this right. TSA It's a Greek sauce. I've always
TSA,
known it as the
that's
Greek
at the airport, right?
tzatziki. You can type it on the screen. I'm usually good at pronouncing words, but I've never heard anybody say this word out loud, I don't think. So it's like a yogurt-based sauce they had.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Oh, it was delicious. We had some wine with that meal, too. Don't know what kind. So what's your rating for Lebanese nights?
That was like 9.
It was one of the best things we had. Like
10.
9 out of 10, definitely. It was delicious. I think we ate every bite we had.
I'm getting hungry thinking about it.
It was awesome. Fresh, made from scratch, great.
The Mute Swan?
Oh, Dave's reading ahead. The next day we went to Hampton Court Palace.
Oh, yeah.
We were dropped off there by my roommate. She had to go to a meeting nearby anyway for her job.
Fancy.
And we just needed somewhere we could walk to. And right across the street was a place called the Mute Swan, which looked to us like a fancy restaurant. But when you look on Google Maps, it says pub.
Yeah, so once again, our American standards are way lower than your guys's. So
It's not that.
we thought it was a restaurant. It was a pub.
Anything in America that serves food as their main thing is a restaurant. Even if they serve alcohol of any kind, it's a restaurant.
Just like a...
There's no such like law difference or standards for a pub. It just doesn't exist. So the Mute Swan we went to for lunch. We got the charcuterie board. Do you remember that?
Yes, and it was huge.
It was humongous. I just watched somebody else's video where they talked about American portions versus British portions. Now this was maybe meant to be shared by more than us.
Maybe a football team. Like...
We got the charcuterie board. If you're an American and you've never heard that term, it's meats, cheeses, sometimes chutney, pate, olives,
pickles.
Yeah,
bread,
usually with bread and crackers of some kind.
Sometimes like a baked brie.
That was a different day. Dave cannot stay on task. Different day. So that's what we got there.
Different day.
I have a picture that you can insert here where I took a picture where there's a piece of bread with a bite out of it from me to show that I had to eat bread because there was so much salt in my mouth. And I haven't had bread in like a year, so that's a big deal. Yeah, that was the saltiest charcuterie board I'd ever had.
It was plentiful though. The meat was good.
I think they had a lot of soft cheeses on that board, which Dave doesn't like soft cheese as much as hard cheddars and.
There was like even pickled onions.
Yes, everything was pickled and salty. It was much too much salt.
Yeah.
And we eat a lot of salt.
I mean, it was good.
I mean, that was probably my least favorite meal.
But it was good. And
like
the service
5.
was good too.
It was high quality. It was just like
service was
salt
great.
overboard.
Yeah.
We had wine there too. Didn't I say that?
Yeah, we probably drank a lot because it was very salty.
We had wine at every meal.
But it is like pickled everything. So what do you expect?
So the next night, that night we had dinner actually at our my roommate's house, our friend's house.
Oh.
Didn't they make what do they call it? I'm not gonna remember. It's like a meat sauce.
Yeah, it's like, was it spaghetti though?
No, it was not spaghetti. Oh, there's a name. We'll put it here. I'll remember it later. So I just had a little bit of the sauce. You probably had it on pasta. Bolognese sauce, is that what they called it? Maybe not.
Not sure.
She made it from scratch, but
I
then
just
we
remember
went.
It was really good, and the kids liked it too.
Yeah. Then we went and did a bar crawl that night.
That's the real test. If kids like it, it's probably good.
Her kids are used to her cooking though.
Yeah. Well,
we don't make stuff our kids won't eat. That's just common sense. So we went to the bar crawl and then we had kebabs. How do you say it?
Yeah, we got in trouble on our last video for saying kebabs, so.
We don't know how to say it because they don't have it here.
Yeah.
There may be places in bigger cities that have it. We don't have it. And if you say kebab to an American, they think of a shish kebab.
Yeah.
Meat pieces on a stick.
We call them gyros here.
We call them gyros.
And
shaved meat.
Yeah, we're not trying to like offend anybody. We're just ignorant to.
We try to use both words so Americans and
like curb and curb.
Many people told us we spelled curb wrong.
We don't
and
spell
we
it
don't
that
spell
here.
it K-E-R-B. If you spell something K-E-R-B in the United States, people are going to tell you spelled it wrong.
We edit court documents like for a living, so we were like, it was kind of funny for someone to tell us we spelled a word wrong.
We spelled it wrong if we lived in England, but if you live in the United States, you spell it differently.
Yeah.
Oh well. Both are right. But we
Yeah.
had kebabs from
Everybody was right.
a little stand, and you got French fries. We had to get it all like
Yeah.
not in a
Man,
what is it? Pita? I don't know how you normally eat them because
No. Yeah.
do you eat it in a pita or in a
Some
sandwich?
kind of flatbread. Yeah.
But I don't eat bread, so we got it just on the side, all just the meat and the toppings, and there was some weird pickled thing. What was it? Gosh, I can't remember this stuff. There was a weird pickled vegetable that you could add on.
And it was purple.
Yeah.
It was like a purple.
It wasn't radishes, was it?
Might have been.
We'll figure it out.
It was pickled something.
We
but
tried
It was delicious. It was good.
Dave likes pickled things.
I do. They gave all kinds of toppings and
salad,
and that
lettuce,
yogurt type sauce. Yeah.
That was
good.
delicious. But we did,
After
we had gone
going
to a couple
bars.
pubs.
Yeah, it's like the perfect after the pub.
I do have a picture of my roommate eating with the plate of food on a bench on the river.
Yeah,
and
it was
we can
Windsor,
put that.
Windsor Bridge, and it's actually a really famous bridge.
Yeah.
I like looked it up, and there's tons of pictures, and I was like, well, we hung out on that bridge.
We hung out on that bridge
There's
with
swans
with some food.
There's swans swimming in the river, and
7 swans of swimming.
7 swans of swimming.
We need to move on. This
right,
video is
no,
going
this
to
is
take like an hour if we don't hurry up.
Oh my gosh.
The next day, okay, this one we don't have to talk about much. The next day, we were dropped in Slough to get on a train.
Nando's again.
And we had Nando's. That's all we could find. I mean, it was like that or Burger King, which we have and we don't.
The Nando's in London seemed a little nicer and bigger, but this one was in Slough, so I don't know.
I got the exact same food.
Yeah.
Because I liked it so much the first time.
Yeah, same thing.
So then that night we were in Liverpool. And we were trying to go to a comedy club. We couldn't get tickets. We just tried to find somewhere to eat. And it was like in this little alley. Didn't know where we were going, called the Buyers Club. I had to look this up afterwards.
It was one of the better charcuterie boards we got.
That's what we got, charcuterie board. We haven't been rating our meals.
Yeah, it's okay.
The kebabs were like 8, 9 out of 10. This charcuterie board.
12.
12.
It was.
He really liked kebabs.
Man, that was good.
If I'm saying that wrong, I'm saying that wrong over and over with conviction.
Yeah, let's just not say it anymore because we're gonna piss some people off. They get mad about that for some reason.
So the Buyers Club charcuterie board, and we got a side of nuts.
And it came with
We get to pick our cheeses.
Mm-hmm.
It was delicious.
But we had to leave in a hurry because we didn't think we were going to get any tickets to a comedy show, and then last minute we got some tickets.
Different part
of town. It was across town, and we had to get an Uber, and so we had to leave really quickly. And
we drank like our bottle of wine in like 5 minutes.
Oh yeah,
we
but that
weren't
was
gonna
great
waste that.
We were going to a comedy show. They always upcharge on their drinks.
So that was a very good charcuterie board, and that was the end of Liverpool. The next day, we had to get to Windermere, and this is when we bought food at a little grocery in the train station. And do you remember why we remember that so well? Because that is the train station that was in the Yesterday movie.
Yeah.
We saw the Yesterday movie like the day it came out, or I did. He came later. And we saw scenes from that train station, and I was like, I was just there. I got groceries right there. I went in to look for stomach medicine right there.
Yeah. So yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
So we just went in that little shop and got some cheese and meat. I don't remember exactly what we got.
Some wine. Little bottles of wine.
That was a different day. We had 2 train meals.
No, to go to Windermere, we got on that Virgin train. We were on a Virgin train, and I think you can drink on all the trains, but it goes like 120 miles an hour. It was awesome.
But we just took some little snack type, like our own poor man's charcuterie board on the train.
Yeah.
And went to Windermere. And then And for dinner that night, we went exploring in the little town, and we stopped at the Crafty Bar. Do you remember that?
Yeah. It was a really, really small, and everything's kind of tight, but
oh, that was awesome.
That was the best charcuterie board.
Yes.
Of the entire trip. It had the baked brie.
This is the first time we'd ever had a baked brie.
Oh,
and
my God.
It was just in a dish with some flavorful toppings on it. I don't remember what they were. I might have the menu for that.
I would go back just for that.
That is the reason we bought a brie baker when we got home. We didn't know this thing existed.
Now we're baking bries because why not? After you've had it, you can't live without it.
So in the United States, the only brie dish I've ever seen people make is where they buy puff pastry and wrap it around the cheese and bake it. And then it's like an appetizer.
So gooey in the middle.
But it's just wrapped in bread.
Yeah.
Don't eat bread. So I've never... I don't eat bread. So I've never tried it. So this was perfect. There was no bread involved except they gave us a loaf of bread to eat it. And I did eat some of the loaf.
Yeah. But you can dip... we dip...
meat.
Chicharrones.
Pork rinds. And cheese and dips. That's our... Yeah. That's our... I can't think of the word.
Our chip.
That's our chip. Well, okay. That's our crisp.
Yeah.
That's what the British call it, crisps.
Okay.
That's our crispy thing that we dip in cheeses and dips.
Hope you understand
crispy
what we're
and
saying.
Crunchy.
We're not trying to...
So that was probably 10 out of 10 meal. That was very good. If you're not catching on, we really liked all the food.
Yeah, it was great.
We liked it much better than American food.
But American food's always like frozen.
Not
shipped.
Always.
Most places.
A lot of it.
There's not a lot of places in our town that have fresh food. Like that's what was the difference. Everything's fresh. And you can tell a difference. It tastes better.
I don't know if we just got lucky with our restaurant choices.
Maybe that's it. I don't know.
Or if it's like that everywhere. So if you have some insight into that, leave a comment. When you're in the United States, probably 30-40% of the restaurants you're going to go to are not fresh, and they're
chain restaurants.
They might be frozen food chain restaurants.
I've worked
I don't know if that's different.
I've worked in the kitchen of Applebee's.
Do you have Applebee's in England?
In Applebee's,
you don't need it. I'm just wondering if it's there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of those type restaurants are just all frozen food.
Pre-made, frozen, reheated. Okay, we're going to move on.
Moving on.
The next day we were still in Windermere.
Windermere.
We hiked that morning.
We hiked to our hike.
We hiked to the boat ride. We hiked around the
like 3
body
miles?
of water that has different names.
Was it like 3 miles to the
It was
lake?
like 2 miles to get to where we were actually trying to go. And then we knew we had to come 2 miles back. Almost 100% uphill.
And then the hike was like 4 miles.
Yeah. So we had hiked most of our 11 miles that day. And we got back to the pier. And I said, Dave, they have fish and chips there. Do you want to try them?
Oh, yeah.
And I don't remember the name of that place. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it online.
It was just like a little kind of like shack kind of.
But it said it was famous fish and chips, award-winning. We don't know what company it was. It was
right by where the boats take off.
Right. In Bowness.
No, it was Bowness.
Bowness on something.
Yeah.
That was...
It was good.
It was fairly good. I had a couple bites of his
They
fish.
changed, like, daily, the fish changed because of, like, whatever they could get fresh. So I think that's what they were... Yeah.
I didn't read that.
Yeah, I read that.
Maybe.
When we were ordering it.
So what did you get that day? Do you remember?
I can't remember what it was. But
it
told you what the fish of the day was. They had a different fish on different days.
I mean, it was good. It wasn't anything I'd be like, you have to go try this fish and chips. So we might have picked the wrong place, but it wasn't something we were really needing to try.
It was good. Like, it beat Long John Silver's.
Everything would beat Long John Silver's, Dave.
I'm comparing everything to America, and pretty much everything I had over there was better than what we have here.
Not pretty much, just definitely.
Everything. Yeah, everything. I don't, you know how it is.
So that night we went to Tapio's. This is not the place with Pip. This is the place in Windermere. I have pictures of our menu.
The place with Pip was, can't wait.
Because I couldn't remember everything that we tried. We had some...
Tapio's was in Windermere?
Yeah, we had some meatballs, I remember, in a sauce.
I remember now.
We
also had some lamb.
We had some lamb.
Yeah, we had some
lamb.
lamb.
I'm looking at pictures of their current menu items, which I think we had some.
It was tapas, right? So, we ordered probably 6 or 8 things.
I think we ordered some mushrooms.
Yeah.
It's hard to remember. It was very good. We had wine with that meal, too.
The lamb was really good. It was all good. I remember it was kind of expensive, but...
That was a place where we ordered at the bar, and we had the carafes of water, like we talked about in that
must have been a pub,
past video. Must have been a pub. I don't know.
I mean...
It was a place where we got food.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was called. It's good. We enjoyed all of it.
Yeah.
So that was probably I give it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
At least, I think we had chicken wings there, too.
Yep,
and they were in a sauce.
Chicken, and I was like, this is a lot like Nando's chicken.
It was a different kind of sauce,
but it was like a Indian kind of sauce, I think.
He's probably lying. Can I have some more
wine?
I'm
not lying.
Making it up.
Not making anything up.
The next day we had to leave Windermere, and I know we got food for the train because that is the train ride where we encountered somebody that went to the college that my friends went to when they weren't at Ball State with me.
Oh, yeah. He talked to us the entire trip, didn't he?
He had like a pack of, was it Jack and Coke that he brought on the train?
Yeah, he drank a 6-pack of Jack and Coke.
On the train. We had our meat and cheese and wine.
And eating cheese and just, we had a chat for the entire, well, he got off about halfway, so about 2-hour, nice 2-hour chat. I think he was enjoying asking us questions about the United States, and we were asking him questions about Britain and the UK.
It was just funny because, almost at the end of the conversation, I told him the university where my roommate and her friends that I visited had gone to, which is apparently pretty small, and it was the university he was currently going to.
He was a cricket player.
Cricket? Oh, yeah, you talked about cricket a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to move on and talk about food.
Interesting. He was a very interesting guy.
We had food on the train, and then we got to Manchester. And that was the night my friend Pip took us to a place called Oaxaca, which I figured out is, I don't know if it's a chain. They have multiple of these throughout England. I don't know how many.
Oh, boy.
I don't know how big of a restaurant chain it is.
Can we go back?
That was delicious.
That was the best meal of the trip for me.
I know we had some kind of nachos. I know we had some kind of tacos.
It was Mexican tapas, right?
It was tapas, so it was all shared.
We got so much stuff. We spent over $100 that night.
We paid for her too, though.
Yeah, but we
had wine.
We kind of went all out at this place.
The best thing.
It was so good.
Do you remember these? That was the best thing to me. The duck croquettes. It was sweet potato and duck, in a ball form, fried. Those were delicious.
We don't usually spend that kind of money on stuff, and we were kind of just in the moment.
We splurged on the trip. We didn't know if we'd ever come back, so we were going to order what we wanted to order.
And I'm so glad we did, because it was so good.
That was a very good meal. That was probably the best.
We're almost done. 29 minutes in. We're almost done. Okay.
The next day,
I had an asthma attack. Had to go to the NHS.
In the morning.
I appreciate the NHS more than anything. That was awesome. You guys took real good care of me. We tried to pay them. They wouldn't let us.
We asked how much the charge would be, and they looked at us like we had 3 heads.
Yeah, we tried to pay. I swear to goodness we tried to pay, but they wouldn't let us. I got my medicine for $9 a prescription, just like you guys, and very thankful. So, moving on.
You've gotten it twice since then, and it's cost you way more than $9. 9 pounds. 9 pounds, sorry.
9 pounds. It's probably cost me
Like $50.
Well, 2 times it's probably cost $100.
Awesome.
100.
So that day after his asthma attack, my friend took us to lunch near where she worked, and I had to ask her today what it was called. It's Navarro Lounge. That's when you got the full English breakfast.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
He wanted to try it.
I was just thankful to be breathing at that point. I don't even know if I remember. I was kind of...
You had beans for...
Oh, yeah.
He loves beans.
I love beans. They were delicious.
It's sausage and bacon.
Yeah,
and I don't know what kind of bacon it was.
That was the full English breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
eggs.
One of the best breakfasts I've ever had. I mean, partially because I was breathing again, and that's always cool when you can. That's great. And then add some great food. That was one of my favorite breakfasts, for sure.
I didn't eat any of his breakfast. So I'll just say,
No.
I had a salad with...
Sausage was really good.
Was it blood sausage or regular sausage or both?
Both.
Okay. I may have had a bite of sausage. I don't remember. I had a salad with chicken and avocado. And guess what I added to my salad?
What?
Halloumi.
Oh, halloumi.
I love halloumi.
We love halloumi.
Like a brick of halloumi at a specialty store such as Whole Foods. I know they carry halloumi, but like not even half a pound. Probably a third or a fourth of a pound is like $9. So we're not doing that on a regular basis.
We're kind of cheap.
Okay, Americans.
We're thrifters.
Yeah, Americans. If you buy queso fresco, which is cheap, it's similar. If you slice it and like grill it or use a skillet to fry it.
I can see that now.
It's similar texture. It's not as good, but it's similar texture, and that costs about $3 a pound.
Queso fresco is good.
So, pro tip from the thrifters.
It's good for nachos, too.
Yes, it is. Okay. We also had Talk Coffee. Do you remember that place? I don't know if that's a chain or not.
I think it was on campus, wasn't it?
It was like right next door to the restaurant. Isn't that the first time you ever had an espresso?
Wasn't it by the campus?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So was the restaurant. It was in the same strip. There was also a Five Guys Burgers and Fries, which we love, but we have it in the United States. I'm not going to have that in England.
You're talking about, okay, with lunch. I remember that now.
Yeah, it was with lunch.
It was right next to it.
I think it was right after lunch. It was delicious coffee. It was real coffee. It was not instant coffee.
Okay. Now we're on the same page.
Okay. We're going to go on. The next day.
Now we're on the same page, so let's move on.
We had to get on a train again. I think we had to have food on the train.
Yeah.
Either we had food on the train or we didn't eat yet. I can't remember which one it was. We went to my next friend's place, which was Nikki. That was Milton Keynes train station, and then she took us to her house in Buckingham. She had bought...
They said not to pronounce it.
I don't know how you guys pronounce stuff. Do you guys seriously think we pronounce things the same as you?
You
Obviously
totally
we don't.
That,
I know I butcher every word because I don't have a British accent.
Buckingham.
I can't
There's no
do
H
accent.
in it, I think. It's Buckingham.
There is literally an
Correct
H
me
in
if I'm
it.
wrong,
There is
but it's
literally an H in the
Buckingham.
word.
I don't know.
But we're going to pronounce things the American way because we're Americans. I'm not saying it's correct. I'm saying that I will sound dumb if I try to do an accent.
You'll sound just fine.
I had to try to do an accent in a play in high school, and it was the worst accent I've ever heard.
All right, so we got the Nickies and we had some pizza.
She had pizza. She had bought pizza at the store, and she put it in the oven.
That was the day that we saw the gypsies.
It is your favorite gypsy day.
Yep.
And
Gypsy day.
She did tell us. She asked us to try the Marmite in the morning.
That was the next day. Was the Marmite incident.
Did we try the Twiglets that night or the next day? I can't remember.
The next day, I think.
Okay, so we did try Twiglets, which were fairly good, but not something I'd go out to purchase. The next morning...
Never forget the Marmite incident.
The next morning is the Marmite incident. She had left out crumpets, which I'm going to give it to you.
All right.
Okay, did you know that getting a phone call on your iPhone will stop your recording? Because
Unbelievable.
we didn't know that.
Thanks, Dornell.
So I was talking about crumpets. We do not have crumpets in the United States. I know you're all surprised by this. It's a tragedy. If you're American, I'm going to try to explain crumpets to you. They are English muffins that are fluffier,
A little bit fluffier.
softer,
Yeah.
and better.
Our
I
English
had like a
muffins
couple
aren't
bites.
the same as crumpets.
I had a couple bites of crumpets.
They're not as good.
Crumpets are way better. I don't know why
Yeah.
we don't have them.
And then
Don't.
the
And
whole,
why are they called English muffins?
they're
The
just,
English don't.
They should have been crumpets, but Americans don't like crumpets, I guess.
They should have been called
We don't like
inferior
Marmite.
crumpets. So Dave had a crumpet in the morning,
I
and
was
he
unsupervised.
put Marmite on the crumpet,
I got my
approximately
coffee
the
first.
same amount as you would put like
Caramel. It looked
jelly
like
or
caramel.
jam,
It looked like caramel to me.
and that is not the correct amount.
It is not caramel.
He has not had any sense.
It's not caramel.
But that was the only time he had breakfast, and that was not a good breakfast for Dave.
My mouth is still on fire. It's like burning. It was not good.
That day we went thrifting with my friend Nikki, who had never been to thrift shops or charity shops. She was not sure how that worked.
Amazed about what was going on.
She was like, I'm going to shop here from now on, except she said it in a British accent, which I can't do.
We got some good deals in Buckingham.
Thank you, Dave. So yeah, we did buy some things that day, but we were trying to figure out where to have lunch, and she said, I've had lunch at this one place
Oh, wow.
called the Old Thatched Inn.
It
I
had
found
a
out
thatched
later.
roof.
It's kind of a fancier place.
Oh, no kidding?
We walked in, and there were like low coffee tables with couches around it, and they
sit you
said, go ahead and
down.
have a seat.
Bring you a drink. Schmooze you a little.
We're wearing like jeans and hoodies from thrift
We've been
stores.
thrifting all morning.
And they're the fanciest people I've ever seen.
I was like, are we among royalty?
And they bring you like a Diet Pepsi and like the tiniest glass. Like, can I have 7 refills just right now? Because this is not enough for me.
The burger was like $27.
Dave had a burger, in case you couldn't figure that out. Dave and my friend Nikki ordered burgers.
No, it was a
with
very expensive burger,
Chips.
but it was good.
Chips. Which in America, I called it French
No.
fries. Now,
Yeah, they say that's wrong. So
I know.
Stop it.
I'm trying to like make Americans understand what it is we're talking about. So it's the closest thing would be like steak fries.
Or like waffle fries.
No.
No?
Do you know what
Steak
a waffle
fries.
fry is?
Steak fries.
A waffle fry is round and has crisscrosses on it,
Okay.
like a
my
waffle.
bad. I don't know anything.
The closest thing is steak fries.
Steak
They're
fries.
not skinny fries like McDonald's. They're more like steak fries. They're thick and they're chips. So you had that and a burger.
Yep.
And I ordered their special, which came with an
$3,000.
appetizer. And the only appetizer I could really eat was meatballs, which were delicious, but didn't match my meal at all, but that's okay. And then I got the salmon in a cream sauce with leeks and peas and new
tasted
potatoes.
It was bomb.
That was the best.
It was awesome.
That was the best salmon I've ever eaten. I've tried to recreate it at home, and
All time?
we're pretty good cooks. I
You
haven't
can't get the
I haven't gotten
juiciness.
it yet.
It just gets too dry. I
It
think.
was the best thing. I would almost fly 14 hours to have it again.
It was good.
It was so good.
It was very expensive. The place.
I wouldn't
mean-
say it was overly expensive.
I
It
mean-
was probably $20, equivalent to $20
Per person for
Yeah, but
lunch.
that's not that
I know, but that's a lot for lunch. I thought, but
for us.
we're cheap.
For
okay?
us, that's a lot for
If
lunch.
you're watching this and you're like, those people are cheap, you're like, you're right. We are cheap.
We
But-
cook almost all of our meals
Yeah,
at home, so
so like-
that's a lot for us.
Our meals are like
$3.
pennies on the dollar compared to $20.
I don't think
a
you're
person.
using that phrase correctly.
No, I think I'm using it just fine.
Don't.
Goodness.
Okay, that was my favorite meal, and it was at the end. Calm down.
You calm down.
We are at the very end. We have
We're
2
at the
more things
very
to
end.
talk about. Then the next day, I'm sorry, I said
Ah.
we went shopping at a grocery store, another one. to buy some food because I wanted to cook for my friend Bex, who we were going back to her house. So this is the person we had the
this is home base for
kebabs
us.
with and all that stuff.
Why'd you have to say that again?
Because I wanted to. I want to make people mad.
Oh my gosh.
She was closest to the airport, and she was my roommate that I lived with. So, you know.
She was home base for us.
She was home base.
We're so thankful.
So we went back to her for the last night, and I wanted to cook for her because Dave and I are pretty good cooks. So we made tacos. By the way,
tacos, American tacos.
No, tacos are literally not American.
I know, but the way we make them here in America, we made them like we do at home.
I'm gonna say this: I wasn't surprised by this. I was just kind of, it was just different that you guys don't have so many Mexican places, and I know why, because Mexico is much closer to us than it is to you. But even in like our state, we'd have to drive probably 20 hours to get to Mexico.
We don't need a wall. We need more tacos.
It's way far away from us. It's nowhere close to us. But our town of 18,000 people has 3 Mexican restaurants. Mexican restaurants are everywhere in the United States. And in England, I saw, I think, 2. And I understand why. It's just funny to me that it's not very common. And so, like, we can cook Mexican food for them, and it's unusual.
I wouldn't say it's unusual.
It was unusual. I'd say it's unusual for people that don't go to America very often. But my roommate had lived in America, and she cooks tacos for her family too. So we made them tacos, guacamole, all that stuff. And they decided then, or not decided, they had, my roommate had gone back to her family's house while we were touring the rest of England. And her family was in Cornwall.
That's when we had.
And she brought back the scones, which we're saying wrong. I know, you don't say it's scones. Scones from her town.
How do you say them?
Scones or something like that. See, horrible accent. That's why I don't try. They don't pronounce it long O like scones.
Buckingham.
So they had raisins in them, or sultanas. They call them sultanas.
Sultanas.
And then her husband prefers the Devon method.
This was a big.
And she prefers the Cornish method.
Yeah,
and they made us try both. So if you're an American,
made us pick which we liked the best, and I was like, oh my gosh.
So this is directed towards Americans who have never had it. If you're from England, you know what we're talking about.
There's
Americans,
a difference, though.
I've never met anyone that's had it. So a scone is not triangle shaped as people in America make them. I don't know why we do that. The closest thing I've said is it's like the biscuits from KFC, and that's a horrible comparison. They're way better than that, but that's the texture. They're soft and fluffy, and they're circle. But these had raisins in them too, which I normally don't like, but they were really good. And then the 2 methods are, you take jam. I think, what kind did she have? Strawberry? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't know if there's a particular jam you're supposed to use, but they used what they had. So one method is jam on top of the biscuit that's halved, and then clotted cream on top. How do you explain clotted cream to Americans?
Yeah, I don't know.
It's like really soft, creamy butter.
Yeah.
It has no added sugar, but it has a sweet aftertaste to it almost.
Just tell them what the other one is, though.
The other one is backwards, clotted cream, and then jam.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways.
And they fight about this.
But they actually do taste a little different. Like, when you bite into it, it does taste different, don't you think? I don't think the majority of Americans would be able to tell a difference or care to tell a difference. No, it's just which one hits your palate first. The buttery part or the sweet jam part. We're not going to say which one is better. Yeah, no way. Because you all will tell us. Then half of you would hate us. We like them both. They were great. But we can't find this stuff anywhere in the United States. Like, if we drove 2 hours to this special grocery store, we could find all the ingredients, but we haven't been there yet. Quite opinionated folks. We like them both. We never had anything like it. We want our kids to try it eventually.
But
Yeah.
that was the last
We'll take a
thing
poll
we ate, and
with
it was
our 4
delicious.
kids and let you know the results.
We should do that.
Yeah.
We do have a video of our
kids
trying.
won't lie. They'll tell you
Twiglets.
straight up. Oh, we brought home English treats and
Twiglets and is it Jaffa or Hoffa cakes? I think it's Jaffa.
They were not having some of it. They liked a lot
those.
of it. They liked a lot of it. They loved Cadbury.
Yeah, well, of course.
That's some
Chocolate.
Sweet chocolate. You guys know how to do chocolate.
So that's the end of all our review of the British food. Overall, we would love to live there.
Yeah.
Because your food is way better.
Yeah.
If you are British,
pubs are awesome. They're fun.
Oh yeah. If you're British, English, Irish, all those things, Scottish, Welsh, and you have visited the United States, let us know what you thought of our food. Because I'm guessing you hated it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Unless you just really wanted to indulge in like donuts and crappy fried food.
And McDonald's.
That's not what we're into. Maybe it's because we're into fresh and we love real meat, real cheese. We love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Olives, nuts. I mean, everything we eat is fresh and whole foods. And
well, England, being smaller, I think no matter where you're at, you're probably close to your food source compared to here in the United States. People that live in the cities, they're farther away from their food sources.
Could be.
I don't know.
We don't know.
We're kind of more spread out, maybe.
We just know it was pretty tasty, and that
it was
that stereotype that you've heard about British food being bad.
Yeah, someone said that, and I was like, "There's no way."
I mean, I've heard that.
You've never been there.
I've heard that multiple times. I wasn't thinking it was true, but when I got there, I was like, "This is the complete opposite of true."
Like, you don't like fresh food? Okay.
I guess it depends on what you're used to. If you're used to processed food, stuffed between bread, piled on top of bread, you might not like.
They do eat a lot of bread too.
Healthy British food. Yeah, we didn't have any of the pies, or we didn't have Sunday roast. People told us all the time to have Sunday roast, and I'm like, I don't eat potatoes. I don't eat bread. I don't eat carrots.
I would like it, I'm sure.
So I'd just be having meat, which I eat at home. I make roasts at home. I don't know. Tell me if I was really missing out. Like, I don't know what I was missing. We didn't go to any teas with the little finger sandwiches or pastries because I don't eat sugar. But I ate what I wanted. We didn't feel like we were missing out on anything. We had so much really good food. We would recommend pretty much everywhere we went.
Yep.
Go back.
All right. Well, that's enough.
Dave's tired of talking.
We're done.
Thank you for watching. If you watched through to the end, Dave's trying to hit stop. We got to talk.
No more talking. No more talking.
Thank you for watching.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.